What is good, YouTube? Warstu here with a video on Avengers Doomsday, Secret Wars, and speaking about the general Marvel Cinematic Universe as a whole. So, if you're new around here, what the frickin' hell are you doing? Make sure to subscribe to never miss any of the Marvel, DC, Kaiju, Monsterverse, pop culture-based content that I try to deliver on a daily basis. If you could, let us know down below, guys. What do you think's going on? Also, check us out on TikTok, Warstu. Really close to 1,000 followers over there. Check us out on Instagram at Warstu to see the beautiful face behind the movie voice. And check us out on Twitter, WarstuG. All right, let's get into it. So, why I always give presidents and always say, do not believe any industry insider is because when they get massive things wrong, they don't come out and say something. I'm not a scooper, although I've been described as one, I'm not. So, I thought because Marvel had a release date in between Avengers Doomsday and in between Avengers Secret Wars, it made the most chronological sense to have Doctor Strange 3 A Time Runs Out. Why? Because Doctor Strange was in Spider-Man No Way Home. He was in Multiverse of Madness. He literally caused all this, potentially. We don't know. Although the internet wants you to think it's going to be Steve Rogers and Doctor Doom's going to be chasing Steve Rogers around the multiverse because him going back in time to live with Peggy caused the incursion, but there was an old man Steve Rogers that returned. So is there going to be two Steve? I don't know. So what I'm saying here is Scoopers came out and said, it's going to be Black Panther 3. It's going to be X-Men. It's going to be Blade. Wait, no, there's going to be a secret Avengers movie coming out in 2026. So you've probably seen videos around the internet, around YouTube, around TikTok, around Instagram, saying Marvel cancelled a movie. No, they didn't. They didn't cancel anything because it was an untitled release date, which they hadn't stated anything officially at San Diego Comic-Con, at D23, at Brazilian Con, at anything. They didn't say anything. So they didn't cancel it. They've just decided not to use it. So that slot is going to a Simpsons movie, which is very random. Now, I personally think we should still get Doctor Strange 3, but if it doesn't come out before Avengers Doomsday or after Spider-Man No Way Home or after Secret Wars, it's kind of pointless. So wherever Clea and Doctor Strange got up to when it looked like they went to the Dark Dimension, because the backdrop and universe seemed to be pretty similar to the Dark Dimension, if that doesn't get addressed in Doomsday or doesn't get addressed in Secret Wars, kind of freaking pointless. So my point is, I try not to give these so-called scoopers slack, but when they get things wrong like this, we had even one of the most trusted insiders, I'm not going to say his name, someone way above the other scoopers said, yo, it could be a secret Marvel movie, and he also got it wrong. So that's why I report all this kind of information. I report basically what I think is interesting is because everyone got it wrong. There was no movie. Marvel didn't cancel anything. They just have no plans to make a movie then. And realistically, could they? Because Brand New Day's filming. You've got Secret Wars filming alongside Doomsday, because we know they're going to be doing more shooting early next year, and some of that will be Secret Wars. Some of it will be Doomsday. Really clever, because we don't know who's going to die and what's going to happen. So they could shoot scenes of Secret Wars with actors in Doomsday, so you don't know they die. It's going to be very interesting. Now, we know based on what Anthony Mackie said, the way Doomsday will end, there'll be serious ramifications, serious death. But there was no script. There was no freaking script, so how do people know this? So, industry insider, Twitter scooper, James Mack, who in my opinion, I don't keep receipts, but I keep a loose gauge in my head. He's actually got more right than most other so-called credible scoopers. So, he posted something a while back, and I have addressed it before. He said, after Avengers Doomsday, Thor and Bucky will have one thing in common. Now, we know Chris Hemsworth is game to play Thor for years to come. So it can't be a death scene, can it? No. Why? I think that would be interesting. Then they could go to Valhalla, so on and so forth. But what else does Bucky have? Bucky has a metal arm. He has an arm, doesn't he? So, what is going to happen? I think Thor is going to lose his freaking arm, just like he did in the comic, you know? So in the comics, Malekith used the weapon known as Jarjorm. Am I pronouncing it right? Yes, because I'm British. So after the loss, the dwarves forged him a new arm made of black uru, a metal comparable to the durability of his hammer Mjolnir, and forged it in his furnace. Also, there was a description going around the internet of what Thor looked like, and he ironically had this black uru arm as well. Now we can only just go by what the internet says. But that bit lines up. Then we had Alex Perez do an Alex Perez story where he makes out he knows everything but doesn't directly say what he's on about. He had this to say about Thor's story going forward and what Marvel were trying and planning to do. So it was asked a question: Thor's story, Doomsday / Secret Wars. If so, what does this mean for Thor? Perez says, bear in mind, I think this is just his opinion. Keep in mind, I said they wanted to give Thor a proper death in Avengers movie. That does not automatically imply Thor is gone forever. Let's not forget there's still a place waiting for Thor at the end of it, Valhalla. So that kind of lines up, doesn't it? And if we go back to the description of how Thor looks very similar to the story where he had this black uru arm. Are they going to do this? I don't know, but Chris Hemsworth is one of the only pulls that Marvel has. Why do I say that? Because Thor Love and Thunder is hated. It really is hated. But the box office still decimates most other box office. 660 million when comic book movies are dead, apparently. All Chris Hemsworth movies have done pretty well. Thor Ragnarok did 850 as well. Sure, the earlier ones didn't do as well, but I guess if you look at Iron Man 1, that didn't really make much money either, did it not? And there was a rumor that Doctor Doom was going to kill Thor in front of Loki, and it was going to be like the reverse scene of when Loki was killed in front of Thor, and I don't think that's going to be the case. Now, we know Doctor Doom is going to become chasing for Loki when he garnishes enough power, and Thor's going to try and protect him. There's so many theories and rumors about what's going to happen to Loki himself. Some rumors suggest that Loki's going to become like a Beyonder type hero villain. But either way, it looks like Thor and Loki are not going anywhere. And they shouldn't, because they're realistically Marvel's only big pulling power. Now, why do I say that? Because this movie has to make so much money, both of them do. They've paid Robert Downey Jr. so much money, and the Russos. I know a lot of scoopers are telling you that RDJ might be doomed long term, but do you really think Robert Downey Jr. is going to take like 100 million each for both movies, right? And then just take a pay cut to appear after Secret Wars? No. So I think Thor and Loki may be the only few characters that may survive. Now we know that Chris Evans has a huge role in Doomsday, but Chris Hemsworth actually had more screen time. So does this scoop from Daniela? She said Chris Evans reportedly will have a major story in Doomsday. But does that mean a major story as in it's going to be impactful, but we know Doom's coming for apparently Chris Evans, Captain America's him going back in time to live with Peggy, caused an incursion? Or does it just mean he's going to be in a lot more? We know the rumors of Captain Hydra. We know the rumors apparently he's playing so many different versions. Nomad, Captain Hydra, Steve Rogers without the serum, Captain America 616. Does it mean he's going to be in the movie left, right, and center? We don't know, because according to how they're going to market this movie, they're not going to reveal him to even be in the movie, even though he did actually have the Captain America physique. But more importantly, he had the shaven face, the kind of chopsticks, a low kind of hair that comes down past his ear. So what does Daniela actually mean when she said that a major role, it doesn't necessarily mean screen time, just means a huge impact? Because like I say, Chris Evans had a smaller role in the previous two Avengers movies than Thor did. So does it mean impactful? Does it mean actual screen time? We don't know, but we're going to keep you up to date with all the latest and greatest Marvel, DC, Kaiju, Monsterverse news. Check us out on Instagram at Warstu to see your face. Check us out on TikTok, Warstu, and I'll catch you in the eyes very soon. Catch you later.